Pope's funeral is set for Saturday morning, and we're learning more about his cause of death as well. The Vatican is saying Francis died from a stroke and irreversible heart failure. For more developments out of the Vatican, I'm joined now by CBS News special correspondent Norah O'Donnell in Rome. Norah, it was this time yesterday, you and I were speaking, and we were really absorbing that sense of loss from the Pope's passing. I'm wondering what it's like for you to be near the Vatican now.
Yes, well, we have landed here in Rome, and I have to tell you, Errol, I have been here 3 times in the past year, and I have never seen it so crowded. I think that's because many pilgrims are here after Easter, but also many coming to pay their respects ahead of Pope Francis is going to lie in state in St. Peter's Basilica starting tomorrow, and then, as you mentioned, that funeral will be on Sunday. So Rome is really packed right now with people who are here to witness this really historic moment and to say, in some ways, a final goodbye to Pope Francis. I'm looking toward what it will be like on Saturday to have this entire area filled. You're talking about millions of people who will come here to witness that Mass that will happen on Saturday morning. Errol?
And Norah, I know that yesterday we were speaking about your interview with Pope Francis at the end of last year, and so many of the exchanges you had have keep jumping out at me. I'm wondering for you, now that the world is talking about legacy and looking at the life of Pope Francis, if any of your exchanges with him take on a new meaning now.
It's a great question. You know, I think his legacy will be one of great compassion and inclusiveness. And we really got that sense from our interview, which was almost exactly 1 year ago. We were here interviewing him at the Casa Santa Marta, which is actually not far from where I am now. It's this guest house, and that is actually where he is lying in a small chapel right now. We got those pictures from the Vatican this morning. When I think about things from that interview, one was how generous he was with his time. We spent an hour with him, and I really did find him very warm and funny. You know, when I asked him if he likes being called the People's Pope, he laughed and he smiled so broadly, because I think that's really what he did want to be remembered. You know, what we saw under Pope Francis was this shift from a very doctrinally rigid Catholic Church into the more pastoral outreach. And even in his final day and hours, we saw that about Pope Francis, right? With the people. He was here in St. Peter's Square, in the Pope Mobile, able to embrace children and wave at the crowds. And so he was trying to bring the church closer to the people. And that was really his approach. And then I think, you know, as we've talked about that tone from Pope Francis, there's a lot, too, that he did. I mean, I was looking back over some of the things that we talked about with him. You know, he talked about climate change. He issued this groundbreaking encyclical called the Laudato Si, in which he said climate change is an urgent crisis, and he denounced what he called this throwaway culture. So that's really, too, how the Pope is more than just a religious leader for Catholics around the world. He's also a moral leader, bringing attention to issues like climate change. And, of course, we talked about what he talked about with migration and the culture of indifference, he said, to migrants around the world. So there's much of that, I think, too, that will be discussed in the coming days about how Pope Francis has left his mark not only on the Catholic Church, but around the world. And then, of course, Errol, that's why we will see so many world leaders, including President Trump, come here for that funeral Mass on Saturday.
And then you wonder how much of that now will spill over into the next papacy. You know, it's fair to call this Pope Francis's conclave, considering he appointed, I think, about 80% of the cardinals. Is there a common thread that's detectable yet?
It's a great point. There will be the College of Cardinals is already beginning to meet. Some met this morning, and the rest are coming from all over the world for the funeral, and then, of course, for that conclave. You have to be under the age of 80 to vote in that conclave. There are about 135 cardinals who will vote, and as you mentioned, Pope Francis appointed about 110 of them. So they will meet in the Sistine Chapel, which is just right over my shoulder, right right here. They will put on top what is essentially the exhaust pipe for so that we can see whether there's black smoke or white smoke, because after each ballot, they can hold up to 4 ballots a day. They will burn those ballots because, remember, they're secret ballots. And if there's black smoke, it means we don't have a pope. And when there's white smoke, we will know that we have a new pope. But I think, what you asked is, because Pope Francis chose many of these cardinals, they embody many of his values. And so that's a real question. Will the next pope be a lot like Francis in his compassion and inclusivity, or will a more conservative or doctrinal pope be chosen? And that's what we'll be watching for at that conclave, and as many of the cardinals gather here and we begin to talk to them.
And it's also what makes this such an interesting moment. No one truly knows what happens next. Norah O'Donnell, great to see you once again. Thanks so much.